we have finally seen some Halo Infinite gameplay. It's been 5 years and we've finally seen it. So what we're going to do today in this video is we're just going to go through the gameplay portions of the premiere and just break it down frame by frame for you guys. So let's hop right in. Alright, so here's Chief just getting out of the ship. This is the start of the gameplay section. As you can see right here, we see the new assault rifle that Master Chief's going to be using in Halo Infinite. To me, it kind of has that Halo Reach aesthetic to it, but I don't know how I feel about it. It's kind of like really flat. It kind of has some weird textures. It reminds me a little bit of a Minecraft or a Mega Bloks gun, and you'll actually see that in some of the other graphics in the game. Like if you look in the background over there, it's just some of the textures are really flat, and I think that's an art style choice that they went with. Alright, so here's Chief just shooting the assault rifle at some grunts. Nothing super special, but right here you'll see something new. As you walk over certain weapons, and I'll highlight this later in the video too with other weapons, it seems that with the move, it seems that weapons now have multiple different qualities on them that maybe can be modified. So we see the plasma pistol here. It's a pistol. It's a plasma style weapon and you can charge it up, which we all know that from previous versions of the plasma pistol, but it's never been shown to us like that before during the game. So we'll kind of continue on here. That right there is actually the new shield regen animation, and I don't like this at all. It's weird, like gold shapes just kind of scattered throughout your screen. I think it's pretty distracting and kind of annoying. I'm not a big fan of it. Continuing on, you know, Chief's just walking along. Nothing too special here. He's just kind of looking at the different things. I think Halo Infinite looks okay. I wouldn't say it looks as amazing as I was hoping, but it also isn't the worst it could look either. So here is a Banished Phantom, or at least I think that's what they're called. It looks like they've kind of changed the way it looks a little bit. Honestly, the look of it really reminds me of those Mega Bloks Banished Phantom toys that we saw, and that's something that I've kind of already pointed out, and I'll probably point out a couple more times during this video. Alright, now Master Chief here, he goes into a sprint, and this was a slight disappointment to me, although we kind of had to see it coming, right? I think this pretty much confirms that sprint's in the game no matter what. I don't think sprint will be in campaign and not in multiplayer, so we're going to see sprint, and we're just going to have to live with it. Master Chief then hops into the Warthog here, which I think sounds pretty nice. He just drives it along, and there is something I want to show. There's some good driving physics there. He kind of does a nice little power slide. Oh, actually right here, this is a big thing. So this is the new TAC map. This is showing Halo Infinite's open world, and you can kind of see the different objectives along the map. I'm worried about this. I don't want Halo Infinite to turn into your generic open world Ubisoft style game where you just go from point to point on the map, you finish your objectives, and then you move on. I also think side quests, which I'm sure we're going to see, might really distract from the urgency that the previous Halo games have had. But again, we're all just making these assumptions off of this short 8-minute trailer, and we're going to get more information as we go on. You just kind of have to keep an open mind. Remember that what we see today, while it's going to be in the game, you haven't seen all the details, so we don't want to make our final conclusions. We can make our initial assumptions, and then we'll refine our conclusions as we get closer and closer to the release date and we see more information, or when we finally get to play the game. Now up here, this is something I want to show you. So the Warthog's going to get some air here. And so to me, this looks like the Warthog in the air might have a little bit of air control. Or it could just be kind of how the gameplay worked out. But we'll slow it down. So you'll see as he goes over this ramp, and it sounds great in slow motion, there's going to be a little adjustment where it flattens out right there. It's very slight. I'm probably just grasping at straws. But there could be some air control components to the Halo Infinite driving. That's all I'm saying there. I think I am probably just grasping at straws though. Chief's going to jump out up here, shoot some more people. He does a little punch there, you know. It does look like the armor might clip a tiny bit right there in the middle. You can kind of see it right under where it says plasma pistol. This is a demo, so that's something that might get cleaned up. Going on, Master Chief pulls out the pistol here. This is the MK50 Sidekick. This pistol reminds me a lot more of the Halo 2 pistol than the pistol that we've seen in recent games. And then over here, you're also going to see an Elite. I think we already assumed that we were going to fight Elites in this game since the Banished were coming back and they work with them. But this here confirms it. We will be fighting the Brutes, we will be fighting the Grunts, and we'll also be fighting the Elites, which are a really fun enemy from past Halo games. Master Chief takes some shots. He does a headshot there, and then he pulls out the AR to finish off this elite that does a roll. We saw the shield animation there again. And then right here, this is another one of those guns that's going to show you those different attributes. So we have the Pulse Carbine. This is going to be a new weapon, and we'll break that down because we do see some gameplay of it. But we see that this is considered an assault rifle. It's plasma damage type, just like the plasma pistol. And then this one is a burst rifle. I don't know if these are just attributes that are set, or if there's going to be some way to modify these, maybe in the multiplayer sandbox, or maybe there's a way to modify these in single player as you get through the campaign in that open world. You'll see here again, it does look like Master Chief's armor clips a little bit, and I really hope that gets cleaned up. Also, this is super nitpicky, but I'm not sure why his like shoulder piece and his forearm, if that's what you'd call it, are two different shades of green. I don't know what's going on there. But we'll continue on here. Here's another new weapon. This is the VK-78 Commando. It's some type of rifle, and he's shooting it here. It looks like a slow firing machine gun. He's popping off heads with it. Okay, and then during this gunfight, we're gonna slow it down because you're gonna see him zoom in. And I'm not sure if this is confirming the Smart Scope ADS from Halo 5 or if it's going back to more of your Halo 3 style of zoom. I can't really tell, and sadly they don't show it again during this gameplay section, so it kind of looks like the Halo 3 BR style where it scopes in through the helmet, but he does pick the gun up a little bit. So we'll watch through it one more time in slow motion and then we'll move on. So here he goes, he's shooting, and he zooms in a little bit, but I think the screen just might be zooming in. I'm not sure if he's actually ADSing with the weapon. Hopefully what we see there is, hip fire being just as accurate as ADS. We have the shield regen there again, and now we have the brutes jumping down in these drop pods, and we're gonna fight him here. We see Master Chief throw a sticky grenade. I'm sure everyone expected those to be in the game. And then he's gonna shoot this guy a little bit, and now we're gonna see something pretty cool. He's gonna pop off the helmet. I like that. That's pretty cool. He's gonna punch him and take him out. And now he's gonna pick up an equipment called the drop wall. And you'll see that in the bottom that took place of the grappling hook. So these clearly are equipment, but they do recharge. That could be totally different in multiplayer, but in campaign, these seem to function a lot more like armor abilities from Halo Reach than a one-time use equipment like Halo 3. But like I said, multiplayer could be totally different. You'll also see on the screen right here that you can pick up a fusion coil. We'll highlight it later, but Master Chief can actually throw fusion coils at the enemy in this game. Alright, so here he goes throwing the drop wall. It's kind of like the deployable cover from Halo 3, but a lot more effective. I don't mind it at all. It looks pretty cool. I think he's kind of showing that you can't shoot through it, but it does take damage and eventually break. So here's Master Chief. He can slide in Halo Infinite. I think we kind of figured if there was sprint, there'd also be slide. No qualms on my part that he can slide. If he can sprint, then I like the slide feature being in there. I think it makes that movement more fluid. Master Chief's going to pop off his helmet again. Again, I like that. I think, although they don't do it at all, I assume that means you could pop off the helmet and then kill him with a quick headshot. I think that'll be a lot of fun during the campaign. Now Master Chief here, he's going to use the grappling hook that's been confirmed to pull himself toward the enemy, and then as he gets close, he's going to hit him with that spike grenade. The brute's going to jetpack up in the air, confirming the return of jetpack brutes, and then the brute's going to end up blowing up there with some bullets to take him down. Master Chief now picks up a new weapon. This is the Ravager. This is one of those banished weapons that we're going to see, and it looks like some type of burst fire, like energy shooting weapon. I don't really know how to describe it. There's nothing too much gameplay wise to break down here other than we just kind of see the landscape of Halo Infinite. This is kind of where I'm saying again, it kind of looks like Minecraft, man. Those textures, like I know that's kind of the art style they're going with, but I'm not sure I love it. You can also really examine the UI here. I think the UI is pretty nice. It's pretty minimal. You have the radar in the corner, your equipment, your weapons, and then the little shield visor up at the top. Nothing too overwhelming. I kind of like it. Master Chief here is going to shoot at a jackal, who then pulls up his shield. I like that. Shows the return of the jackals, which we all knew about. Now we'll see right here that it looks like this weapon overheats. It doesn't have clips because you can see that you have to vent it. And now off to the corner here, over where you see that grunt holding the 2 plasma grenades, you're going to see him get chucked at us by the elite, or kicked, or kind of blasted toward us. We're going to take him out in midair. That's kind of cool that these suicide grunts can be like propelled at us. I think that's a lot of fun. Continuing on, Master Chief just continues to fight him. Here he picks up the plasma carbine that we were talking about earlier when we were highlighting those weapon types. And so you'll see here once he pulls it back out, this is a burst fire plasma weapon. I am curious to see how this works in the multiplayer. Is it going to be a Covenant version of a battle rifle basically, or is it going to be a lot more better suited at taking out shields? Regardless though, it looks pretty fun to use. Now we're going to see him pick up the Mangler. This basically to me just looks like a rework of the Mauler. You'll also see here that they've pulled up the objectives on the UI. It looks like during this exact mission, which they confirmed is multiple hours into the campaign, you have the choice of destroying 3 different guns. You could probably do them in whatever order, and then maybe you move on to the next section. Now you'll see Master Chief use his grappling hook to kind of get through the level. I thought it's kind of funny here. He hits his head. Look, he kind of smacks his little head. I just think that's funny. Nothing big. No big deal about that at all. Now you'll see another slide there from Master Chief. It does look like the Mangler might have way less spread, or might just be a single shot, unlike the Mauler was. Here you're going to see Master Chief grappling hook a fusion coil toward him, and then he's going to actually chuck it at this shade turret, which is pretty cool. And then he just continues to fight the different brutes that are left, throws a grenade there. Nothing too special here. Jumps on the shade turret, and he's just going to take out some enemies. We've all seen us be able to get in shade turrets in the past, so nothing too special there. He's going to pick up a new weapon here in the corner. This is the Bulldog. It's some type of pump shotgun. A little bit different than the shotguns that we've seen in the past, though. And then the shields get regen there. You'll also notice that we actually have a shield bar and a health bar, but the health and shield both regenerate. And you'll see it right here. You'll see the health regen first, and then you'll see the shield regen. Yeah, right there. Master Chief's gonna jump up here. There's nothing really gameplay again here to break down. This is just some story related stuff, but we will see something that's pretty interesting here. So here you'll kind of see, and I don't totally know if these were different like drop pods out of the ship, but you'll kind of see them all. They show they're alive right now, and then boom, they're all deceased. He's already under our... As you guys know, I'm not super lore intensive, so I just wanted to really break down the gameplay elements of this for you. So that right there kind of wraps up the longer 8-minute gameplay premiere that we saw during the stream. Now I do want to show you guys another trailer that 343 posted. This one's a little bit shorter. It's about a minute long, and it does just recycle some pieces, but there are some pieces in this that I really want you guys to take note of, and I'll point them out. Alright, so right here, we're going to see something, and I'll slow it down for you guys. That's pretty cool. Alright, here Master Chief is going to pull out an energy sword, and that energy sword looks pretty damn cool to me. And he's going to kill that elite kind of as it cuts. Alright, so here, you know, those Banished are coming back down. He's going to grab the fusion coil again. He's going to chuck it at him, so we'll see that a little differently. And then here's another one of those grunts being thrown through the air at you with the plasma grenades. I think the grunts look pretty decent. I know some people aren't a huge fan of their look in this. And then here he's using that new machine gun again. Pulls out the shotgun to take a couple people out. There's a new type of equipment, I believe, and it looks like some type of shock grenade. Maybe it kind of functions like a power drain where it drains shields. I'm not totally sure, but it does seem to have some type of like stun lock effect on them. So I don't know if we'll see that in multiplayer or if that's just a campaign thing. A stun locking equipment seems extremely aggravating for multiplayer, but you know, we're just making these assumptions off tiny little snippets, so we have to wait and really see more before we make final conclusions. Alright, and then I'm going to slow it down here again because there's something I want you guys to really take note of, and that is the classic battle rifle aesthetic coming back. Sadly, he doesn't really shoot it or even try and zoom in with it. It's just this little tiny little snippet, so I've slowed it down. That's about it for the battle rifle. Yeah, so that is going to do it for the 2 different trailers that we saw, the one that we saw live during the stream, and then the one that 343 posted right after. My basic first impressions was when I saw that sprint, I was a little bit disappointed, although with the game going open world, it would be really weird if the game didn't have sprint, if I'm being honest with you. Imagine trying to traverse in a large open world without sprint. Now, I will say the open world change does worry me a little bit. I hope we don't get that generic open world gameplay that you see in other open world games, but we'll just have to kind of wait and see on that. And I know I keep saying that, but it's just, we've gotten so little information even from these two videos that we really do have to wait and see. Some more things that we're really gonna have to wait and see on is that equipment. While we did see like the grappling hook and the drop shield, we saw that they regenerate in the campaign. That could work totally different in multiplayer. Assuming that they are map pickups, if they have cooldowns or they don't, you could kind of control the map around them. So it'll function a little bit like a Halo 3 equipment. We just don't know if in multiplayer they'll be single use like the Halo 3 equipment. They also could be very map dependent. Some maps might not have any of those equipment, some might. So the maps that have them could really be built around those gameplay styles like the grappling hook, where maps that don't have them won't have to worry about accounting for it all, because you won't be able to get the grappling hook on those maps. I think that'll be really good because it's not something like Reach, where every map has to be designed with jetpack in mind. Halo Infinite, they can really narrow down the maps designed around a grappling hook to maps that actually have the grappling hook on it. And for all we know, in the HCS versions of maps and game types, we might not see the grappling hook at all. Hell, we could even see sprint turned off for some of that. We just really don't know because we haven't seen any multiplayer related gameplay. But yeah, that's just kind of my first impressions. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of these two trailers, what you think of Halo Infinite so far, and if you're excited or if you're really just disappointed from what we saw. As always, if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. I hope to bring you guys a lot more Halo Infinite videos going forward as we start to get more and more information. If you want to catch me live, you can follow me over on Twitch at twitch.tv/rash with 3 Rs, or you can follow me on Twitter at rash with 4 Rs. And I'll see you all next time.